So this completely changed the way that I look at health and wellness and how to heal my clients, myself, my family and friends, and now, hopefully, you. What we're talking about is the 5% and the 95%. The resources are going into the 5%, and I'll explain what all of this means in a second. By the way, my name is Ryan Kearns. I had Lyme attacking my heart. I healed it holistically. A lot of people are scared about their health, and I don't want you to be one of them. That's why I created this channel. So if you're new here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button below. And today I really want to talk about the 5% and the 95%. What this mind shift does is it's going to take you and turn you into somebody that knows where to focus your attention. Okay, we only have so much attention, which, by the way, I'm very grateful that you're here spending your attention on this video with me. I know that you could be watching any other video in the world, but you chose this one, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so first let's talk about the 5%, okay? So this is obviously 100%. There's 5% up here where everybody has been focusing their time and attention for centuries, for years, right? And what that is really, it's the conventional approach, okay? So all of this time and energy is focused on this conventional approach where they use something called germ theory. That says that there's one little bug, right? One little microbe in your body causing all the problems, and we have to create specific drugs, agents that can fight against those microbes and defeat the illness. And so that's the conventional approach, right? Most of the time. If you go to the doctor, it's because you're feeling some type of pain or problem, and their job is to fix that pain or problem, and they choose to fix the symptoms. And that's what basically all of science and medicine has been focused on for many, many years, is this basic conventional approach where they say cause and effect. Something's hurting them and we kill that thing, right? Or something is hurting them and we get rid of the pain, okay? And the truth is, that's just not how the body actually works. See, the body is a complex, vast systems that are all interconnected, right? And it's not just one silo or group of things, right? So for example, you could go to a doctor and say you have achy joints, and they'll send you to a rheumatologist. Then you could say, that you have a skin problem at the same time, and they'll say, okay, go to a dermatologist, right? They silo their skills vertically. So a cardiac doctor, cardio doctor is in that silo of cardio, and they specialize and they get really, really deep on one specific part of the body. And that's great and all, and it's obviously it's taught us a lot. We've learned a lot about these specific functions, these specific systems in the body. Cardio doctors are some of the smartest people in the world when it comes to the heart, right? Brain doctors are some of the smartest people in the world when it comes to the brain. However, the brain, the heart, the liver, the gut, all of these things actually work together inside of your body, right? This is, that might sound like common sense, but you'd be surprised at how many people look over that fact and they like the idea of specializing and breaking things down into tiny little parts. It's great and all, it just doesn't actually work for reality where our bodies exist and go through many different functions all the time. Our systems are interlapping and intercrossing, and they're, very closely related. So the same thing that's causing the achy joints and the skin rash and the chronic fatigue could all be linked together, right? The same things could be causing all of that together, okay? So that system is great and all. If you have a broken bone, it's great to go to the doctor and get a cast so that bone can heal. But that system does not serve us when it comes to chronic illness, when it comes to most of the first world diseases that we suffer from today, including heart disease, including cancer, including these #1 killers in our country. These are chronic illnesses that can be treated at the very root of the disease, the symptoms, right? They're syndromes. They have wide and vast touch points with every different area of our life. It's not like someone has a heart attack and they're like, oh, it's specifically from this one cheeseburger, right? They know that the heart attack happens from stress factors, from, many cheeseburgers every day in a row, right? And a bunch of other factors that come into play with how someone's living their actual life. And to focus on one single element of that would be, kind of delusional and not based in reality. But that's what people have been doing for so long with the conventional approach. They try to focus on one area and they try to fix that with medication. However, the medication, as we all know, can cause other symptoms and related problems. That's why on the commercials they say, please do not take this if you're pregnant, please do not, blah, blah, blah. You could have an itchy rash, could have poop coming out of your ears. Like, they go on this long list of bad things that could happen to you if you take this drug. Not much else to be said there. It's just, do you want to take those risks when you're trying to get better? Or do you want to use the great approach, the approach that works, the 95% approach? Okay, before I move on, I just want to say the resources are all going into the 5%. The resources are all going into finding new medicines, finding new treatments, where the 95% that actually works, I'm not talking, this isn't an opinion, this is historically, the 95% is what has worked. Let's think about what had the number one most benefits for the health of the public and saved the most people. It was clean water, sewage, and the ability to, get rid of excess waste, poop, and pee by flushing it out of your house and having a system in place to then, recycle that water. So once we figured all that out, the human society, we weren't dying as easily. We were dying much easier before that. Once we figured out how to have plumbing and have safe water, things got a lot better very quickly. They say about 30% of those results came from that single change alone, the ability to have plumbing, right? And so there's nothing in this, the 5%, that even comes close to that. It's only 5%. It's not even 30%. So that 30% makes up part of this 95% of what can be called prevention. Okay, and prevention just sucks. It's the worst word ever. It's so boring. People don't like preventing diseases. And so a lot of us put it off and we wait until we have a health crisis, and then we have to try and reverse the problem. Whereas if we prevented it in the first place, it never would have happened. Okay, and so this channel is really to help people that are already suffering, but just know that we have to reverse a lot of damage in order to fix this problem. And if you were to prevent it in the first place, this never would have happened. However, we're all human. I personally messed up, and my health journey caused me to have a suffered immune system, loads of stress. I ended up with skin rashes, and my heart was under severe pressure from Lyme disease. I was getting dizzy spells. I was fainting. I was having vertigo. I was having all types of brain fog and chronic fatigue, and I was completely just down. Everything felt like I was running into a wall. I never felt like I had, the release of all the pressure that was built up in my body from the microbial burden. And maybe it's not all from the microbial burden. Maybe it was from all the other elements in my life. And that's really what the message of this video is there's a ton of other elements in our life that are causing the pain and the suffering, that are causing the imbalances, the deficiencies in our body that are allowing us to get sick in the first place. And so this conventional approach goes right out the window. But whenever a client comes to me and I'm thinking through their problems and I'm thinking through how we can help this person, and I take it very seriously. It's my favorite thing in the world to do is work with people and figure out how I can help them end the suffering, become better, and move forward with their life, get their life back and be back in the driver's seat, back in control, taking responsibility for their health, becoming a warrior and fighting through, because they have to reverse a lot of things that have built up over time that could be causing a lot of damage. Now, when the people come to me, I think in terms of this 95%. Right? And the first thing we look at is something missing? Okay? Are they missing something? Are they missing something from their diet, from their nutrition, from their, maybe they're using herbal regimens, maybe they're using medications for certain things. Are they missing something that they could be getting because this will cause an imbalance in the body. The body needs a lot of different nutrients. We need sunlight. We need all these different things in order to function properly. Clean water, clean air, etc. Okay? Now, if you're missing essential nutrients that our body needs to thrive, and you throw medication on top of that, it doesn't fix the same problem, right? The medication might treat the symptom. There's likely going to be some other negative symptoms that pop up. It's like whack-a-mole, you knock one down, another one pops up, right? And it's just not as effective as making sure that the body's in balance, isn't missing a single thing. The way we do that is a lot of testing and a lot of just looking deep into the history of an individual, what their life is like, what they're eating every day, and some blood tests, etc. A comprehensive blood panel is a great way to get started. Now, is something missing is the first question. I want you to think about that in your life. Is something missing? Okay. If you don't know, maybe get a comprehensive blood panel that you can look at with a provider, a health provider of yours, and ask them, what am I low on? What can I fix? How can I change this? The problem is if you go to a conventional doctor, they may not know what to do, okay? And they might just refer back to this 5%. Well, what's hurting you? And, I really only know how to take away pain. And I only really know how to fix problems that already exist. This isn't about fixing problems that already exist. It's about reversing problems that already happen. And it's about creating foundations so that these problems can exist in the first place. So we look for what's missing. It's very important. And the next thing is there's something that's bugging you, okay? Is there something added in that could be bugging you, right? And the three main things that this could be would be, one would be toxins, right? Like heavy metals. There's a bunch of different toxins, really. It's mostly heavy metal stuff, lead, mercury, arsenic. These things are around us, right? There's depending on where you live, what type of environment you're in every day, you could be breathing in heavy metals. You could be just getting, mostly it comes from breathing it in, and you can have air filters to help with that, but sometimes it's just not enough help. Like if you live somewhere like China, for example, there's a lot of coal, and with that coal comes a lot of mercury. There's a lot of mercury in the air, so you're constantly breathing that in. Not good at all. Your body needs to go through a chelation process where you can eliminate some of that heavy metal. Now, that's just one. That's toxins, right? Another one is allergens, right? And I'm not talking about allergens like you sneeze or you get runny eyes. I'm talking about allergens like you eat something and it doesn't agree with your body, but you go years and years continuing to eat it because you don't realize you have a low-grade effect, a low-grade allergen, a low-grade allergic reaction, really, to this substance. It could be things like milk, dairy, eggs, cheese, breads, flours, sugars, these things. So a lot of us are ingesting these low-grade allergens and we don't realize that our body can't really handle these certain things, but we realize it when we cut it out using an elimination diet, that we start to feel amazing, so much better, because we don't have these things that cause inflammation, that cause just malabsorption in our body, and we're able to then start absorbing nutrients again, and we're able to actually move forward without those allergens bugging us. And a lot of times we don't even know we have them until we eliminate them. And so that's the whole point of a program like that. Now, another thing that could be bugging you is mold. So we got toxins, allergens, and mold. Mold is all around us a lot of times. It depends where you live. I know where I am in Pennsylvania, there's definitely some mold problems. You can find mold pretty much anywhere. It's all over the place because it's very damp and moist, and we live in the woods. So there's a lot of mold around here. Now, that can cause a major problem if you're constantly breathing in mold. That can, end up getting mold spores inside of your lungs, and you can actually end up having an immune reaction to that, which doesn't help with inflammation, and it causes a whole bunch of other problems within the body. Your immune system can get compromised, and microbes like Borrelia burgdorferi or any other Lyme disease microbes, Bartonella babesia, etc., they can all take hold a little bit easier when you're exposed to mold for too long and you have those mold spores and you have things like that inside of your lungs that are causing an immune reaction on top of the microbes that are already there. So all of this stuff put together would make the 95%. What's missing and what's bugging you are the two main questions that we need to ask when we're beginning the journey into becoming a detective and looking deep into the body to figure out what's really going on at the root. Once we figure that out, we can start to do different things like add things in that if they're missing and get things out if they're bugging you. And we're going for a state of homeostasis or balance within the body. It's a push and a pull. It's a deep dive learning experience about your specific body. We're all different. My body is not your body. We will react differently to different things. We have different genes, but genes can change. Okay, so that's where nutritional therapy, supplements, and herbal remedies can come into play, because we can actually change the genes so they stop expressing disease within the body and we start to heal. And that's really what we want to get to. Okay, so all we have to do is focus on the imbalances, the deficiencies, and we have to stop focusing and putting all the resources, all the money, all the colleges, all the tuition, all of the science, everything into the 5% that doesn't truly get results for chronic illness. Okay. Now, of course, if you have a broken bone, go to the doctor, go to the emergency room. They'll fix it for you. Now, but if you have a chronic illness, that's something that's caused at the root level. It takes a much more generalized, wide approach of the entire body rather than a siloed, single approach to each individual part of the body, which is how the conventional medicine system is set up right now. And that's why we always want to look at the 95% of the stuff that gets results versus the 5% of the stuff that, can be helpful in dire situations. Like, they're very good at bringing people back from the brink of death, but we're looking at the 95% that keeps us away from that brink in the first place. So I hope this video changed a little bit about how you think about your health and your wellness and the medical system. Maybe you're starting to think differently about how you should focus on your body, what you should lean into and what you should stay away from. What kind of help is going to best serve you on your health journey. And I hope you are finding this video helpful. If you like this video, hit the like button. That lets YouTube know that this video is worth watching, so other people that have Lyme disease or have chronic illness will be able to find us easier. So if you could help just one more person, be less scared and be more healthy, then that's exactly what will happen. If you share this video, like this video, comment on this video. Even if you hated this video, just throw a comment below. Let us know what we could do better. I'm always down for learning. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.